Hello and welcome, Inspired Podcast community. This is your new episode. My name is Caroline, and my today's guest is Amber Renae. Is this correct?
That's correct. It's great to connect
Oh,
with you, Caroline.
I'm so happy that you said yes to our interview. I'm so happy, and I want to present you, of course, to the audience. Who is Amber Renae? You are a civil engineer, a serial entrepreneur and TV star. You inspire women to discover their wow factor through building their dream digital business, personal branding, and self love. And I was on your website right now. I will put it in the show notes, of course. And I'm impressed by the work that you do. Please tell us more about your daily life, for example.
Sure. So my daily life these days is running my third business, which is my online education platform, which is the website that you were looking at. So in that business, I have a range of online courses that are all on evergreen, which means automated sales funnels. So they are set up in a way that people can study those courses on demand whenever works for them. My first course was how to be a fashion stylist. That's what I used to do in my offline world. And that course made six figures in the first year. My second, this was back in 2015, mind you, Caroline. So I used to have to explain to people what an online course was back then. And then my second course, which is about personal branding and publicity, helps female entrepreneurs to do the thing that you and I are doing today. So to show up online, to create engaging video content, to do podcast guesting and speaking collaborations. And then my third online course, which is a course about mindset, I created because I'd gone through a lot in my entrepreneurial journey. So I knew that I had a lot to share when it comes to mindset and personal development. So I monetized that portion as well. And then I realized I was really good at creating courses. So then I created a course about courses, which is called Freedom Funnels. So that has been the bulk of my work for the last 9 or so years. I've had 40,000 students go through my trainings. I've now written the book on online business. And we now also run a done-for-you course creation agency where we create courses for experts like yourself.
Oh, thank you for explaining to us. And I also love your book and the title Dream Life. You know, my favorite quote is from the Walt Disney: if you can dream it, you can do it. And you show women how to achieve their dream life, because I think you could say also, if you can do it, they can do it too. Everyone can do it. So, what inspired you to, for example, to call it Dream Life?
So I was actually on a US television show by the same name. So I'm a little girl in Australia, in a small country town of Australia. And through the work that I was doing in creating these online courses and digital platforms, I began to get recognition and get noticed. And eventually there was a US TV distributor that was creating a reality TV show around Australians breaking into the US market. And so one of my co-collaborators at the time, she and I were creating an online course platform. So we were chosen to star in the show. And the whole show was basically about us setting up an online course platform out of LA, and, everything that goes along with creating a new business in a strange country. So that's what inspired the book. I actually shot that TV show before COVID, and the show started airing during COVID. So it aired all around the world. And then off the back of that, I thought, well, why don't we create a book that's more accessible for people? Because obviously after the back of COVID, I realized that people really needed something that was very accessible, that only cost a couple of dollars, that they can access straight away and get as much information as they need so that they can build their dream life, whether that's a side hustle, whether that's a digital product that just pays a couple of extra dollars every month, or whether it's an entire business that you own that isn't subject to a pandemic or the world closing or a government shutting down your business, as we saw so much of during that time.
Yeah, that's so true. And so you were at the right place at the right time. Yeah, so to say, thank you so much. And who inspires you? Do you have coaches or mentors for yourself?
I get a lot of inspiration from people that I follow online that don't actually know that they're my mentor, but I'm secretly following them. Like, I love Alex Hermosi, and I also like a lot of the podcasts that are just more inspiring around entrepreneurial journeys. At the moment, I'm loving The Diary of a CEO, and I'm big into my health and wellness podcast. So I love Mark Hyman at the moment, and also particularly like Chris from modern wisdom. So there's some of the mentors that I do like to grab wisdom from, that I'm not necessarily in a mastermind with, but I do look up to them, follow their wisdom, and read their books, watch their video content, listen to their podcasts, just try and draw as much information as possible.
Well, thank you so much for sharing. And how do you inspire other people?
I think I inspire other people by showing up and going first, and showing people that it's okay to fail, because my entrepreneurial journey, the long version is that I had 2 businesses before this one that reached incredible success, but they also had incredible hardships and lows at the back of the business ending. So my story is one of absolute resilience, absolutely picking myself up over and over again to keep succeeding and to keep trying. So that's how I believe that I inspire other people to look at their failures in a way that is not necessarily a failure. If I look back at some of my business failures, I would have stopped trying to be an entrepreneur, and I wouldn't have created the thing that I've created now, which really is a real reflection of all the gifts that I've been able to receive in this lifetime.
Oh, wow, that's very impressive. And what advice would you give to someone who just, let's say, closed one business and start another one?
My advice that I always give to people is follow your bliss when it comes to trying to figure out your purpose. So when I started all 3 of my businesses, I didn't start them with the intention of building a global brand. I just started them because I was really passionate about doing that thing. So in this business in particular, I just knew how to teach how to be my first course, which was how to be a celebrity stylist. That's what I was doing offline before I started this business. And I was just passionate about helping people. So I sat down one day and I realized that I was very passionate about learning about online business. So on my weekends, I would study online courses about email marketing, and I would study courses about Facebook ads, and I'd listen to podcasts about, algorithms, like very boring things that aren't exactly sexy. But for me at the time, it was a passion of mine. I was very intrigued by it. So for anyone who's thinking that they do have an idea for a business or something that they're passionate about, I encourage you just to explore that passion. Don't expect it to pay your bills. So don't think like, oh, I'm going to start a business and then 3 months later it's going to be paying all my bills for me. That's very unrealistic. Instead, just focus on, is this providing me bliss? Am I passionate about following down and learning more about this, and then sharing that with people that need to hear it?
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. It gives, it gives us hope. People who are starting all over, or you mentioned COVID as well, and we are post-COVID now, and everyone is, I know it is several years already, but thank you so much for telling us, letting us, and what are your gifts and talents?
My gifts and talents? Well, I have so many gifts and talents. Did you know that I'm performing in a burlesque show in 2 more days? So that's my big focus at the moment. So that's one of my hidden talents that not a lot of people probably know about, but I was a passionate dancer growing up. So I'm very passionate about dancing at the moment.
Dancing. Okay. You mentioned purpose, and most of the people maybe don't know their purpose already. So this is why I ask questions in the podcast, to inspire the people to find their gifts and talents, because everyone has, of course. And my next question is, do you set goals for yourself or intentions? And what is one of your goals for 2024?
So I have a vision book, not exactly a vision board, but a vision book. And each page of the book is in various sections of my life. So there's, personal life, career, finances, holidays, friendship. So I have a very in-depth vision book. It's sitting on my work table right now. Each morning I flick to a new page, and there's affirmations on one side and there's imagery on the other. So this is a very in-depth book. And then I've also transcribed all the words in that book into an audio file. And then I put that audio file on just sort of to play in the subconscious in the background. And all those statements are positive I am statements. So I have done this, I am achieving that, that kind of thing. So I am a big believer in setting intentions and affirmations to help train the subconscious in creating the world that we're looking for.
Oh, wow. Yes, I remember. I do the same. I use the app. There's an app, famous app. You can record your own voice and then play it over and over again. Yes, this is also very valuable as advice for our listeners. And yeah, I have a question about when people reach out to you. Yes, after listening to this podcast episode, we know already you have the famous website with the offers. I checked, you see the cat in it's cute. The cat in the background is showing up. So, do you have special offers or services for the Inspire podcast community?
Absolutely. I would love to all welcome them to watch my free masterclass that helps you create your first online course or digital program. It will help you go from idea phase, and then it maps out my signature unique methodology, which is called an MVP, so a minimum bankable product. And this is actually the missing ingredient that you need when you're trying to go from idea to online course. Because we all know, if you've ever sat down to create an online course, it's very overwhelming. You've got all these ideas up in your head. You don't know how to get them into an actual signature program. There's a lot of missing pieces. But if you do my formula, which is the MVP, this is the little step in between that helps break down that and make that journey a lot easier. So I teach all about the MVP on the class. And then I also map out your very first funnel. So funnels are something that I really love. That's where you start getting more of your life back. So a funnel is something that you can use to help guide your customer journey, which sort of starts leading you more into that automated way of living, which I'm very passionate about. So we help you map out your very first funnel on the call as well.
Oh, I love that very much. This is very generous, and please reach out to Amber or check out the website. Of course, she's amazing. I'm happy to know you now. We are connected. And do you have a last message for our audience?
I think if you're feeling called to create an online course, if you've got it in the back of your head, maybe you've been thinking about it for a while, maybe you've even taken a few notes down, or if you think that you'd like to have something on the side that you can control, that the government can't close down, or that, is outside of your corporate organization, I do really encourage people to at least explore what it would look like in terms of creating a digital product. Because as we've heard already with my story, all of my businesses started with me just being interested enough to explore the idea of, hey, potentially this could be a thing. And as a result, they've turned into these huge businesses. So whether your little idea turns into a huge business, or whether it's just something that helps pay a few of the bills, something on the side that you can fall back on, I do really think that all of us have an online course inside of us.
Oh, I love that very much. As last message, we all have an online course inside of us. Thank you so much. Yes, have an amazing day.
Thanks so much, Caroline. Thanks for helping me connect with the Be Connected audience.
Oh, thank you, and see you in the next episode.